Wake up. And we are. And I got to tell you, the enemy is scared to death. But let me tell you about our guest tonight a little bit. Pastor John S. Torell, born in Sweden in 1939, is an influential pastor, evangelist, and author. Graduating from an engineering college in Jönköping, Sweden in 1963 with a bachelor's in science and mechanical engineering. He later immigrated to the U.S. with his wife, Aina. They found faith in 65 and were led to a Southern Baptist church. Pastor Torell received his Master's of Divinity from Golden Gate Seminary in 73, and he founded European America Evangelistic Crusades, Inc., EAEC, in 1973. He has served as a pastor in various California churches. And his evangelistic missions include 8 crusades to Europe, focusing on Scandinavia. He authored the Christian Dynamics course series and The Rise of the Antichrist, plus an 8-book series exposing the Kabbalah. In 1986, he established Resurrection Life of Jesus Church, the RLIC, in Sacramento. Known for his involvement in deliverance ministry, Pastor Torell has a long history in radio broadcasting and currently hosts an internet radio program. He's been pivotal in spreading the gospel through EAEC, emphasizing the importance of confronting modern-day spiritual challenges. And brother and sister, have we ever got him? So without further ado, first time on Caravan to Midnight, Pastor John S. Torell. Welcome, Pastor. Thanks for making time to come on tonight.
Thank you very much.
I was reading the notes here, and I thought we'd just jump right into it. Who are the Jews, and are they the descendants of Jacob, as in Israel? And then maybe we can get into the transfer agreement, which most people have never heard of. So, who are the Jews?
Let me begin by simply looking upon first the religion of the Jews, because that has a tremendous great bearing. In Judaism, there are 2 messiahs. We have the biblical Messiah, which is a suffering Messiah, that's Jesus Christ. And then we have the Kabbalistic Messiah. And the Kabbalistic Messiah is a man anointed by God, and he is supposed to restore the kingdom of Israel. And Israel then is going to rule the world. Now, in the book of Revelation, there's a story of the Antichrist. But let me, very briefly, because if we don't understand the religion of the Kabbalah, then we don't understand what is happening. So here is what they taught, and this is King Solomon solidified this, and this is what the Kabbalah teaches. When God was busy with the creation, he got confused. And a portion of him fell into the bottomless abyss, and there it took the form of a holy serpent. Once he was in the abyss, he cannot get up by himself. And so the Kabbalists decided, this is a time of Solomon, which will be about 900 years before Christ, that there are 2 ways to get the serpent up out of the abyss. One is to make everyone good on this earth. The second one is to make everybody bad on this earth. So they were reasoning that it is hard to make everybody good, so we're going to go with what they call the low road and make everybody bad. And the teaching then of the Kabbalah is, the more you sin, the more you serve God. The worse you sin, the more you love God. So this teaching now was, by the time of Jesus, was solidified. Personally, now I have a master's degree of divinity, and I've been in church for a number of years before that. And I have never learned about what does the Jews really believe. We read things in the New Testament of the collision between Jesus, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and we don't know why they did and what the purpose was. So the way I learned about the Kabbalah was that a pastor friend of mine from Sweden, I met him in 1983, and I told him, I had a book at that time in Swedish that talked about a little bit about the Kabbalah and the Antichrist. And so he read that, and he came to me the following day and said, if half of the truth in this book, he says, my entire world view has changed upside down. He said, give me 6 months. I will travel to Jerusalem. He went down there fairly often. And he said, I will investigate. I will prove you right or wrong. So about 6 months later, I was back in the U.S., and we talked on the phone. And he told me this: it is worse than what you have written in your book. He then told me that at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, there is a Kabbalah department. And people go there to get a degree in the Kabbalah. And the professor that was there for many years was Gershom Scholem. And so my pastor friend simply said, pick up 4 books that Gershom Scholem has written. They are in English. And he said, when you read that, you simply can't believe what you read. So I bought the books, and that is how I learned about the Kabbalistic system. Now, having that knowledge, I would like to share with you a couple of things here that in the Bible, we have the prophet Isaiah to begin with. So in the prophet Isaiah, and I'm going to read very briefly here from chapter 5. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin, as it were, with a cart whip, that say, let us make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the count of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness in light for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Now, I have read that scripture many times. I've never understood it, but Isaiah here is addressing the Kabbalist and simply saying that what you cannot call evil good and good evil, and so he rebuked them. In chapter 28 of Isaiah, we now find the following, where Isaiah wrote this, chapter 28, and the verses 14 through 18. Wherefore, hear the word of the Lord, you scornful men, that rule this people which is in Jerusalem. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell we are in agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. We have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled. Your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, you shall be trodden down by it. Every lodge we have are Freemasons, and also we have these fraternity organizations. Then we have the Order of Skull and Bones, which is a fruit of the Kabbalah. They take an oath of death,